What's up, everybody? Are you recording?
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to say, Jiu Jitsu is a very special thing. It changed my life. I was in the military, and once I started training, I wanted to really dedicate myself to Jiu Jitsu. So when my time to re-enlist came, I got out and studied under Fabio Santos. And Jiu Jitsu really made a big change. It brought me together with other people I would never meet if I hadn't trained. It also taught me more about like eating right, getting good nutrition, getting good rest. You can't perform if your body's not up to par. You're gonna get that way with good nutrition, good training, and rest. So that's the big issue for me is like how jujitsu can change you and make you a better person and improve your life. Also, jujitsu is very good for your mind. It helps you technically, you're learning all these new techniques, and as we know, jujitsu is infinite, so you can always keep learning. There's always something to learn. And it works your creativity, because you're going to take a move, and wow, if I add this or that, it becomes this move, it becomes something new. So it's always growing and evolving. So it makes your mind sharp. You have to work your timing. Jiu-Jitsu is excellent for that, and it also teaches you the biggest lesson. If you let things get too far, you're going to be screwed, right? Person's passing the guard, you didn't stop it, they got across side, they got your neck locked, you didn't stop it, they got mounted, they got the choking. If you can stop things in the early stages, you can be successful in countering. You can take that lesson into your life outside of the mat. Right? You can't let problems mount too far or they're going to be really bad for you. That was my second point. Oh yeah, my start in Jiu-Jitsu came, there was a really great instructor who I look up to this day, and he introduced me to Jiu-Jitsu in January of '93. I
Okay.
started Jiu-Jitsu in Thailand of all places. It was just an intro, a few moves, and in the SEAL teams I had deployed, and it was my first deployment, and went to Thailand and met this guy. And he started teaching me, and then when we came to Guam, where we were stationed, I started working with him. And I trained with him for 2 years. So he will remain nameless, but to this day, I have utmost respect for him. He introduced me and showed me the way. And then from there, we basically, that kind of training was MMA. We did stand up, and we did groundwork, we did some throws, and he would go to the Gracie Academy in Torrance and learn moves and come back. And he lived down in IB, and we'd go just train like 3 times a week. That was how we were doing it, and full on, standing to ground. So that was my intro, and then after like 2 years of that, I was like, wow, I think I'm getting pretty good. I want to compete. And they started doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. The first tournament was a Gracie tournament. And so I'd been doing no gi the first 2 years, never even put the gi on. And then the first tournament I do, I go and put the gi on. And I fought in that tournament Craig Cole, who is Fabio's first black belt here in San Diego. And I had never really seen the gi sweeps. I think the score was like 30-0 for points. It was just like a sweep clinic. I was just getting thrown around this gi. And he got me in an arm lock. I used to do this defense. My defense for the arm lock was when you get mounted, I put my arm up, and when you go for it, I try to yank my arm out before you get it. And he had the gi, almost had it, and his wife's on the side, like screaming, crack it, crack it. Everyone's trying to, they want me to get my arm hurt. And I ended up getting out, and I lost. And Fabio was the ref of the match. And it was like a big eye opener, because then I learned like the gi like makes a big difference. And I talked to Fabio, and he said, hey, I'm opening a school in San Diego, and you're welcome to come. And I started, with Fabio.
That was 93, 95?
So that was at the end of the 2 years I was training in the military, and then that was 95 when that happened. So I started at Fabio's in like springtime in '95. That was when I was getting out of the military.
22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a long time.
So total is 24 because of the 2 years before that.
Sure.
Cool. Jiu Jitsu Stories Part 4. Jeff Higgs.